Kevin Durant is now admitting, Kristine, that he has a...
well, he's not admitting that he has another account, but he is admitting that it was him who wrote that. So, like, he wasn't hacked. So whether he was writing about himself in the third person or he meant to tweet this from another account, we know it was him. He was talking at a TechCrunch event in San Francisco, and this is kind of what he said. I have another Instagram account, but that's just for my friends and family. I don't regret clapping back. I do regret using my former coach's name and the former organization I played for. That was childish. That was idiotic. I apologize for that. And then he said that he is going to scale back a little bit right now and focus on just playing basketball, but that he does love engaging with his fans.
Yeah, I don't necessarily. Not much.
You don't like yes, you respond to your fans.
Not very often. Occasionally I will, like I usually do it on like a football day, like I'm sitting home and I'm watching the games, and then I'll go back to 4 or 5 people. But when you try to engage, you know, everybody's a tough guy on Twitter. The truly hopeless, lonely are suddenly Superman. So you're not getting a real conversation. You're getting an anonymous, lonely person who feels like I'm going to take some swings, and so it always devolves into some like sad, pathetic like conversation, and I'm like, why did I do this?
Well, you know what usually happens is if someone says something really, and I don't write back to anybody anymore, but if someone says something really nasty and you are to respond, they'll back off right away. Oh, I didn't mean that at all. It was just a joke. Like 99% of the time.
Yeah, Twitter courage. Yeah. So, but for it's funny sometimes, like how thin-skinned, like Kevin Durant, our president, you're like, what?
Is Kevin Durant thin-skinned though, or is it just that he feels like, hey, I'm gonna, like maybe it doesn't actually affect him. He just wants to talk about it.
Well, he admits here, I was childish and idiotic.
So he said that he was childish and idiotic, not for responding or engaging, but for specifically mentioning his coach's name and his teammates.
Yeah, I don't know. I always think Twitter feels bigger than it is because celebrities are on it, but I don't think it's that. Like to my audience, I remember one time. This was years ago. It was like 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. I filled in for Keith Olbermann. He had a show in New York on ESPN, so I filled in on it. And first thing I asked, I had to fill in for like 2 days. I said, "Give me the demographics of the crowd. Like, are they older, younger?" And I'll tailor a show based for the audience. If it's an older crowd with Olbermann, I'll do some baseball. If it's younger, I'll do NBA. And I remember they showed me. They literally knew after a year the whole show, and it had 2% Twitter users. 2% of his audience used Twitter. Now it's probably tripled, but it's just not a very big number.
I really wonder what the world would be like if we didn't have Twitter.
I think it would be like what it was 9 years ago without it.
Is that better?
I don't know if it's better or worse.
Or if we got rid of Instagram too.
I just think what's happened is we've become glued to our phones, and I think there's a social impact on that.
Well, and there's this thought that we have to be on social media, but I think it would be better just because it's there. But if it wasn't there, I think it'd be a lot better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, once you introduce something to the market, there's no going back. So
there's no going back.
With certain technologies, if you introduce it to the market, man, there's money to be made. It will. I still think Facebook runs the internet. I think all this stuff is just little tiny birds, and I think essentially Facebook is the elephant. It runs the entire internet. Google and Facebook run the internet.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.